The Vice President of the United States spent his Sunday morning stretching the truth on television. Margaret Brennan pushed through the fog of Vance speak to try to find out if there is a Republican position on the issue that Democrats insist must be included in any budget to fund the federal government.
What is your vision for that health care policy? Do you want these tax credits to fade out over time, extend them, and then fade them out? Are you open to making them permanent?
Well, the tax credits go to some people deservedly, and we think the tax credits actually go to a lot of waste and fraud within the insurance industry. So we want to make sure that the tax credits go to the people who need them.
Waste and fraud in the health insurance industry is something Republicans have never worried about before. They've always protected it. There is a solution to that, which is to remove insurance companies from the healthcare system. Bernie Sanders and other Democrats have been advocating Medicare for all for years, which is the cleanest way to eliminate any waste in the health insurance industry. And of course, not one Republican supports that solution. Republicans are clearly now running scared about having shut down the government because they refuse to continue the Democratic policy of helping people afford health insurance. The lowest scorer on any civics test in the United States Senate, Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville, who is now running for governor of Alabama, told reporters, quote, "We've got to make sure that premiums don't go sky high." And extreme right-wing Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene has said Republicans are wrong on this issue, and she's now blaming the shutdown on the Republican refusal to meet the Democrats on the health care issue. The Republican history of lying about government health care policy goes all the way back to the early 1960s, when Ronald Reagan, before he was ever elected to office, was a very vocal opponent of Medicare, saying that Medicare was the worst possible thing this country could do. When Congress was debating whether to enact Medicare in 1965, Ronald Reagan said Medicare would destroy America. He said, "Behind it will come other federal programs that will invade every area of freedom as we have known it in this country, until one day, as Norman Thomas said, we will awake to find that we have socialism." That's the Republican lie, and that's how old it is. And Republicans have never stopped lying about health care policy. Remember how they lied about President Obama advocating death panels in his health care bill?
President Obama stood before a joint session of Congress and said there is no such thing as a death panel. Is he a liar?
He is not lying in that those two words will not be found in any of those thousands of pages of different variations of the health care bill. No, death panel isn't there. But he's incorrect, and he is disingenuous.
He was correct, and she was constantly lying about death panels. On Meet the Press, the vice president said this.
James Comey obviously lied under oath. Letitia James obviously committed mortgage fraud.
And on ABC, he said this.
Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear.
How does he know? How does he know who's guilty and who isn't guilty? How does he know any one of those things that he just said? It is worth noting that no vice president of the United States in history before this one has decided to comment on the guilt of federal criminal defendants awaiting trial. That's never happened before. It is not unusual for a vice president to defend members of his administration against accusations of all sorts, but James David Vance is especially bad at it when it comes to bags of cash handed by FBI undercover agents to Tom Homan and captured secretly on secretly recorded FBI video.
You said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal?
And there you finally see the shape of the new White House defense of the man recorded on FBI videotape taking $50,000 in cash. J.D. Vance asks himself the question, did he accept the $50,000? And then he says, I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. So that's the defense. Yes, he took the money, but it was for services. What services could he possibly perform for undercover FBI agents who were lying about who they were? That's the kind of defense that has tripwires all around it, as the vice president demonstrated.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it illegal to take a payment for doing services? The FBI has not prosecuted him. I've never seen any evidence that he's engaged in criminal wrongdoing. Nobody has accused Tom of violating a crime, even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question.
And so there's your answer. I don't know. Did he accept $50,000? There are three possibilities, yes, no, and I don't know. And J.D. Vance just picked, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question were his exact words. The vice president seems to realize just how much trouble he was in. And so he tried to backtrack and say he doesn't even know what tape we're talking about.
You're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money.
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about.
He does know. Of course he knows. And George Stephanopoulos ably exposed what the vice president knows, what he doesn't know, and what he's incapable of answering. MSNBC exclusively broke the news over 3 weeks ago that FBI undercover agents secretly recorded a video of Tom Homan accepting $50,000 in cash in a paper bag handed to him by those undercover FBI agents. And here is how the vice president's very unsuccessful interview ended.
You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
And thank you, George Stephanopoulos.